Good folks, I tell you what I think. This woman's punishment could be set up by us, the public. What do you think, gossips of Hester Preen? If the hussy stood up for judgment before us five, she would come off of the sentence worshipped. Mary, I trow not.
People say the Reverend cares a lot that someone in his church would take part in such a scandal.
Those who judge her are God-fearing gentlemen. But they should have branded her forehead. She can cover that letter with a brooch.
Ah, but let her cover the mark as she will. The pang of it will always be in her heart.
Why do we talk of marks and brands? Whether it's on her forehead or not, she'll feel it in her soul. Because she did something horrible. She ought to die for her crime. Comes Hester Prynne.
She hath good skill at her needle, but to make a pride out of what they worthy gentlemen meant for punishment.
If were well, if we stripped Madame Hester's rich gown off, her dainty shoulders, I'll bestow a rag of mine own, to make a fitter one. Way, good people, make way. In the king's name, open a passage, and I promise ye, Mistress Preen, be set where man, woman, and child may have a fair sight of her brave apparel, from this time till an hour past meridian. Come along, Madame Hester, and show your scarlet letter in the marketplace.
I pray you, good sir, who is this woman, and wherefore is she here to set up the public shame?
She's the wife of an Englishman who's gone to Amsterdam. She was sent to Boston about 2 years before him, but as his young wife was left to her own misguidance.
And who, sir, may be the father of yonder babe?
Of a truth, friend, the matter remaineth a riddle. Madam Hester absolutely refuseth to speak. He may be at the bottom of the sea. They have doomed Mistress Prynne to stand on the pillory for 3 hours and wear a mark of shame upon her breast.
A wise sentence. It irks me, nevertheless, that her partner should not at least stand on the scaffold by her side. But he will be known. He will be known.
Hester Prynne, there have been much question concerning thee of late. Whether we, that of authority and influence, do discharge our consciences by trusting in a mortal soul, such as there in yonder child, to the guidance of one who hath stumbled and fallen mid the pitfalls of this world. What canst thou do for the child in this kind?
I can teach my little Pearl what I've learned from this.
Woman, it is thy badge of shame. It is because of the stain, which that letter indicate, that we would transfer thy child to other hands.
Nevertheless, this badge hath taught me lessons whereof my child may be the wiser and better, albeit they can profit nothing to myself.
We will judge warily, and see whether she hath such a Christian nature as befits the child of her age.
God gave me this child. She is my happiness. She is my torture nonetheless. Pearl keeps me here in life. Pearl punishes me too. She is the scarlet letter, only capable of being loved, and so endowed with 1,000,000-fold of the power of retribution for my sin. Ye shall not take her. I will die first.
My poor woman, the child will be cared for far better than thou can care for it.
God gave her into my keeping. I will not give her up. Speak thou for me. Thou wast my pastor and knowest me better than these men can. I will not lose the child. Speak for me. Thou knowest what is in my heart, what are a mother's rights, and how much the stronger they are when that mother has but her child in the scarlet letter. Look thou to it. I will not lose the child. Look to it.
There is truth in what she says, truth in what Hester says, and in the feeling which inspires her. God gave her the child, and gave her an instinctive knowledge of its nature and requirements which no other mortal being can possess. And moreover, is there not a quality of awful sacredness in the relation between this mother and this child?
How is that? Good Master Dimsdale, make that plain, I pray you.
This child of its father's guilt and its mother's shame hath come from the hand of God, to work in many ways upon her heart. It was meant for a blessing, for the one blessing of her life. It was meant, doubtless, the mother hath told us, for a retribution too, a torture to be felt at many an unthought of movement, a pang, a sting, an ever-recurring agony in the midst of a troubled joy. Has she not expressed this thought in the garb of the poor child, so forcibly reminding us of that rem symbol which stirs her bosom.
Well said again.
Oh, not so, not so. Above all things else, to keep the mother's soul alive and to preserve her from the blacker depths of sin into which Satan hath sought to plunge her. Therefore it is good for this poor, sinful woman that she hath an infant immortality, a being capable of eternal joy or sorrow, confided to her care by the Creator's sacred pledge, that if she bring the child to heaven, the child will also bring its parent thither.
You speak, my friend, with a great earnest.
What say you, worshipful Master Bellingham? Hath he not pleaded well for the poor woman?
Indeed hath he. Care must be had nevertheless to put the child to and stated Christian examination, and at hands of Master Dimmesdale. Moreover, she go both to school and to meeting.
The little baggage hath witchcraft in her. I profess, she need no old woman's broomstick to fly withal.
A strange child. It is easy to see the mother's part in her. Would it be beyond a philosopher's research? Think ye, gentlemen, to analyze the child's nature, and, from its make and mold, to give a shrewd guess at the father?
Nay, it would be sinful in such a question to follow profane philosophy. Better to fast and pray upon it, and still better, it may be, to leave the mystery as we find it, until Providence reveal it of its own accord. Thereby every good Christian man hath a title to show a father's kindness toward the poor deserted babe.
Bro!